314 We Out Here podcast. I'm KP. This is my little cousin KT. This is our first episode of 314 Out Here. To keep up with us, all you got to do is hit the sub button down below. You can also follow us on TikTok, We Out Here Sports Podcast, Instagram, We Out Here 314 Pod. Without further ado, let's get right into it. First of all, I think we're gonna talk about MLB free agency first. Maybe a little bit expectations for this video. What do you think about that?
Absolutely, and considering how fast this free agency has moved, and considering how dominant the Astros did in the World Series and how quick that went, this free agency has been unbelievable.
It's
and
been
I'd say
crazy, actually,
the past month,
yeah.
Unbelievable.
We're both Cardinals fans, so we're expecting maybe a couple big signings here, but we got one. But I'm going to go off of this list of notes I took beforehand about some big things I wanted to cover free agency-wise, and then after I bounce off the stats and that, we can talk further into that.
Absolutely.
All right, first off, I got Xander Bogaerts goes to the Padres on an 11-year deal for $280 million, 30-year-old. I got Jacob deGrom, 5-year deal, $185 million for the Rangers. Our boy, Wilson Contreras, now is going to replace Yachty, 5-year, $87.5 million to the Cardinals. Aaron Judge comes back to the Yankees on a 9-year, $360 million contract. Trey Turner switches up the uniform, and he goes 11-year, $300 million deal to the Phillies. They're going to be strong. Verlander switches it up. He leaves the Astros, goes to the Mets on a 2-year, $86 million, old arm. Edwin Diaz, Mr. Trumpet Man himself, 5-year deal, $102 million to the Mets. And then we got Clayton Kershaw comes back to the Dodgers for a 1-year, $20 million deal. This one shocked me. Brandon Nimmo, not a hot bat, 8-year, $162 million. The Dodgers don't pick up a Cody Bellinger option. He doesn't bat 200. Cubs, Cubs are going to Cub.
They need somebody. They need anybody to help that poverty franchise. Ever since 2016, you wonder, what is their front office doing? You always question it every year.
I mean, he hasn't had MVP numbers since 2018, but they pick him up for a year, $17.5 million. I wanted the Cardinals to pick up this one because we need a pitcher. Carlos Rodon goes to the Yankees, big market, 6-year, $162 million. He swings a T-ball bat. Joey Gallo hits it or he doesn't. Home run or strikeout. He goes to the Twins for 1-year, $11 million. Jose Abreu, I think this is a big pickup for the Astros. 3-year, $58.5 million. Andrew Benintendi from the Royals goes 5-year, $75 million. The White Sox, I think this is going to be a big signing for the Cubs. I personally really like Dansby Swanson. I think this is a shortstop that's going to help bring them to a little better team. But Dansby Swanson goes 7-year, $177 million to the Cubs. What else do I got? Oh, my favorite player, Carlos Correa. He comes out. It comes on MLB on Instagram. I'm looking through it. It's at like 12:30. I'm looking at it, and I see 13-year, $350 million. I'm like, they got Brandon Crawford. What the hell are we doing? And then it just happened, I want to say 2 days ago. It pops up. He had his introduction press conference. It comes up like there was a physical problem. They said something wrong with his back. So then they drop his. And then on the next day, or the next night, I look at it, and I see 1 a.m. the Mets sign him for a 12-year, $315. So he leaves the Giants, goes to the Mets. The Mets picked up. They have him. They re-signed Diaz, signed Verlander. They have Scherzer.
The most unexpected signing you'd ever say, especially at 1 a.m. in the morning. I mean, come on. I get he's Carlos Correa, but it's like...
That's insane to me.
That's unbelievable.
I saw a stat, too, that have all of the free agent stuff that they've signed. I think they've signed almost $1 billion away. Like, I think it's like $890 million.
Just crazy.
Just like maybe 6 or 7 players, and that's... Which, I mean, some of those players deserve that money because it's a big market in New York.
Absolutely.
But, I mean, that still blows my mind. What else did I have? Other notes I had in here. Oh, another big one. Not a signing. I kind of thought this was weird. Aaron Judge is now the New York Yankee captain. Let me hear your thoughts on that.
I think his postseason from the start, it looked okay, but then, when he went to Cleveland and the Guardians were putting up a fight against the Yankees, it just makes you wonder, is Judge the answer to everything in New York? And yes, he is one of the best hitters in the league, without a doubt.
But an AL MVP, and I don't think it wasn't close.
It wasn't even close. But when he is not putting up any great stats for postseason, and you need a guy like Judge to score runs, and he can't do it against Cleveland. And again, it's any given playoff game. But when he is struggling against the Guardians, you wonder, what's going on, But I think with the Yankees, they want to trust Judge, and if they can put the trust in him, maybe some more signings this offseason will benefit them. But I think it's not a bad idea making Judge the captain, because he is the pride and hope of the Yankees.
I don't know. If you go look at everyone's, if you go look back at Yankees captains and everything back with that, you kind of see the Yankees are a very rich history of winning culture, which,
Absolutely.
They killed it this year. Judge had a great year. But, I think their last captain was Derek Jeter. Derek Jeter was the best shortstop of his time. I know I grew up watching him a little bit. I got to see his end of his career. But, he had, I don't even know, I think he had 2 or 3 World Series?
I think it was 3. Yeah, 3 World Series.
I think it might not be. I'm going to double check that, though. But, with them going up with that, he is so rich with World Series win titles. And whenever we talk about Aaron Judge in the playoffs, it goes no-show.
Yeah,
Derek Jeter makes these plays, makes these stats that he carries that team. He's a true captain. Yeah, Aaron Judge, I think, can lead and be a good leader. But I don't know. It's kind of hard to. I don't know. I don't know. That one still shakes my head because I don't know. You have to perform, for me, I think, to be the captain in the playoffs. But shit. He went AL cap. He went AL MVP. He had 62 home runs. He is their franchise guy. He is their number one guy, but
absolutely,
that still just kind of shocks me a little bit for that aspect.
Yeah. Did you see on Instagram the other day? So how when Judge's 60-second homer ball was going for $3 million, it was $3 million. And so a couple days ago on Instagram,
$3 million?
Yeah, $3 million. And the man that had the ball did not want to sell it. And so
he didn't want to sell it to Judge for $3 million?
Nope, he did not. And so a couple days ago, he gets $1.5 million at an auction. It's just, I get it's history, but it's you just lost half of the money you're getting.
That Judge was going to give to
you. Yeah, exactly. And he gets $1.5 million from Golden Auctions, which is the top market for MLB baseball memorabilia. So it's you're getting the money from the dude that hit the home run, but then you're losing half the profit because you're going on an auction.
$3 million is crazy, but you also got to think, even if you give him that much, I know Albert Pujols 700 ball or something like that. I guarantee you that player would still give you signed merchandise.
Absolutely.
Signed memorabilia, maybe a bat or something. He lost. I didn't even hear that. I didn't.
Yeah, it was on.
That's insane.
I know, right? Because then he has to pay $250,000 to the government. So basically, it's 1.25. But
I didn't even think. Yeah, he lost that one big time.
Big time loss.
This just popped up on my ESPN today. The Trevor Bauer incident. This is kind of just short. His 324 game suspension just got shortened half for the domestic violence scandal he's a part of when he was with the Dodgers. Got suspended for 2 years. That just got shortened down to 194. But I want to say he's got to be middle 30s.
Yeah, I think he's around.
No, he's 31. So
31. All right, so he's got.
He could come back at age 33, but I don't know if he's under contract or anything. So
I don't think he has any. I don't think he's under anything right now.
But you got to think that's even if he comes back and being dominant pitcher like he used to be before this whole scandal thing came out.
The question is he going to maintain the dominance that he had when he was in the league? Because when he was in the league,
he was gross.
He was disgusting.
He got hit every now and then,
but it's now he's with the king of JUCO, and you don't know what to really expect.
that's how funny. What else did I think baseball?
While we're at it, let's talk about Wilson Contreras, because obviously some people thought, this could be a move for the Cardinals since Yachty's retired.
Oh, shit.
But it's did you really think Wilson Contreras was going to come to St. Louis, a division rival? Cubs, the Cardinals. It's just, it's very unexpected. And then what was his deal? What was it? A $5 million, 5 year?
87.5 mil.
Yeah, 5 year deal.
That's the Mozeliak even said it, the GM of the Cardinals. That's the most money they've ever spent in Cardinal history in free agents.
I know that's ridiculous, and it's.
But I mean, you got to think of it all. We're not a big market team.
We really aren't
compared to your New York, your California, your Chicago.
Absolutely.
So I mean, it comes straight out of the owner's pockets. But
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't really think Kisner.
Yeah, Kisner wasn't really the answer. I mean, his hitting was just.
He was on and off. I mean, Yachty's hitting was on and off. But I mean, he's more of a backup catcher in the MLB.
Yachty had a prime, and everyone knows how good it was. But, you know, Contreras he's still young. What is he, 31 years old, I think? Yeah,
I want to say
he's 31. But I think at the age he's at.
He's definitely. No, he's 30.
Yeah, he's 30. Okay, so I say at the age.
They have him until he's 35.
Yeah, so I say the age that he's at right now is a perfect time, especially with how young the Cardinals are, considering. You know, Paul Goldschmidt's 39? 34?
39.
39's a little too much, but 34, Nato's what, 28?
No, he just turned 30.
Just turned 30. Okay, so you got a little...
Your core elite players of the team are around that 30 age.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of young players.
You got Newt. Everybody loves Newt. And then you got Carlson. And then you got
O'Neal's like upper 20s.
Yeah, you got Tommy Edman, which you know he's a team filler. You know he can get the job done at sometimes. Pretty smooth infielder. He's more of a utility guy. Who else are we forgetting?
Paul Shitty DeYoung needs to get out of town.
I don't know what. That's just pisses me off is that they keep.
Just keep. That's kind of the thing that like makes me mad is, like I know the Cubs have more money than us, but like Dansby Swanson's a really good shortstop.
Absolutely.
And he's only 100. He was less than 100 million more than Contreras was for another. What I write down here, I want to say for another 2 years. So I don't know. I don't know. They must think, but I mean, you also got to think our farm system is good. We have Mason Wynn coming up that can play shortstop. Jordan Walker,
unbelievable.
He can play outfield. I think he can also play third.
He plays third. He can play third.
You could maybe switch him over to shortstop or something.
Brendan Donovan, who's up and down between Memphis but he stayed mostly this year.
He stayed up here all year. He got a Gold Glove.
Yeah, he got a Gold Glove this year.
He was really good bat wise and got a Gold Glove. But I think, our pitching's god awful.
When Jose Quintana left, it's just.
I did forget to say that Jose Quintana went to, I think, 2 or 3 years in New York for like $36 million. He had a really good.
Yeah.
Once he left Pittsburgh, because for us he gave us like he gave you a 2 or 3 like run, but we had a really good offense that could give him run support.
Absolutely.
And so when he's on Pittsburgh, it doesn't give him run support. That's why his record was so bad. So we stole him, and I want to say Stratton got a really good deal there. And then, basically saying off of that, if he basically set himself up for the market so well when it came to him, because he went to a team that could get him offense, and simple as that. I don't know. I don't think Mozeliak really thought he was worth that. He doesn't throw fast, but he's a good lefty. We don't have a whole lot of lefty starters in our.
He's a pretty consistent guy when he's on the right team. I would say
that's perfectly how you say it.
Yeah, I think so too.
He gives you 3 or 4 at worst, and then you have an offense that can give you 5, 6, or 7 with an elite lineup like we have. MVP Paul Goldschmidt, and I don't know. I just wish we could have signed him because he really went to New York for cheap.
It's funny because before the free agency and the trade deadline was up, when we got Jordan Montgomery for the Bader trade, it's kind of odd that 2 players are in New York that were just with the Cardinals 6 months ago.
Yeah, that is insane. I don't know. I really liked Bader, but he also didn't really have, he didn't bring a whole lot to offensively. But as you saw in the playoffs, Harrison Bader was the leading home run, leading extra base hit for the Yankees. So kind of you're playing into a different state, a different new ballpark. But I love the Jordan Montgomery trade. I hated it at first, but then Montgomery came in here and he settled in and he pitched lights out. Even in the playoff game, we didn't give him run support or anything like that, but he still dialed down and gave you 7, 6 innings in a big playoff game. I think was huge for us.
The only question I had was, Ryan Helsley, the dude in season,
he's a
stud. But and then the playoffs, it's just
I don't know.
Yes, he came off an injury, but it's just I don't know.
He got thrown into it too quick, and I think that's kind of a big thing, man.
That is true.
I think Ari Marmol needed to make sure he didn't throw him in the 8th. He's a 9th inning guy, so I think that's kind of the main thing. You just need to use him right. But I think that's the main thing we had for the MLB side for this podcast, for this episode, Bill. Hey, if you enjoy the MLB talks or anything like that, this is just the beginning of it with free agency. hit that like, comment down below. We appreciate anything you guys can help us out. Peace.
Peace.